Jeez. There we go. Now let's see if we can stay back on for a change. Holy moly. Knocked off there. It's a communist plot today, I think. All right, so let's go ahead and get this protein. What you gonna trip me? You can't trip me, you crazy monkey. No tripping, daddy. Oh, I get you. I will get you. Do I want to have some extra greens? Let me see. Do I have any spinach? That is so good. That's a question. I'm gonna kick in a couple extra leaves. A few more, perhaps. Yes. We're putting in some more spinach. And generously. Handful. Putting in spinach. There we go. Yeah. Good. That. Close that. Got that in there. Now we put this on. Jeez. All right. So we got that. We got the peanut butter. Now we need some milk. And we are just about ready. We need one more ice cube. One extra ice cube. Perfect. I want to shake some lamb's tail. You want to do one thing real quick though. Yeah. Woohoo. All right. What? What? Howdy doody. Oh. Hey, Dan. Crazy, I keep getting knocked off of YouNow this morning. Just getting ready to finish up making my protein shake, and I decided I've earned an edible today. I don't know if you ever do any edibles, but I do. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Come on. Anyhow, doing healthy this morning as far as the shake goes. Got a couple ice cubes in here. Got my low-fat, low-sugar yogurt in here. I got a nice big dollop of peanut butter in here. I got my protein powder in here. I got in frozen fruit with spinach. I got some fresh spinach and non-fat milk. So I'm just getting ready to mix it up good. The only thing is, if you don't put these bottoms on properly, they freaking leak. Nothing worse than trying to blend a protein shake. You can see the green spinach in there. The colors are nice. You can see the peanut butter right there. All right, let's get this ready. Just got confirmation today a friend of mine has fallen off the wagon. I can only my heart goes out to her. It really does. All right, here we go. Stand by, it's noisy. You know who's waiting. Don't like the noise, huh? You ready for something? Ready for some shake? You gonna have some? You ready? You ready to have some? She waits. She knows she's getting some. All right. Spoiled monster. Little girl been with me since 2007. I rescued her at the pound. Who are you pulling for, Dan? Eagles or Patriots? Or do you have a selection in mind? Are you a Lakers or Clippers fan? The look on her face. Now you should see the look on her face now. Look at this. What? What? Oh, you're licking your chops. You were licking your chops. You were literally licking your chops. You want something? What do you want? What? What? You want some of this shake? Is that what you want? You're just too smart for your own good, you are. Huh? She knows it's coming. Hang on, let her some too. Let me try it first. Cheers. Oh, yeah. Oh, the little bit of peanut butter that you put in this just gives it that little extra yummy. I don't know what it is. Just that little bit of peanut butter really kicks it up a notch. What? And it's got all the antioxidants in it, all the veggies, spinach, 100% whey protein. Okay. Low fat, non-fat yogurt, so I got some probiotics going in there too. What? Fresh spinach. Fresh spinach is good all the time. And you know, the cool part is there's no way I could get my dog to eat spinach, eat fruit, you know, any of the healthy stuff that's in here. There's no way that I could get her to eat this stuff otherwise. But you put it in this shake, she goes nuts. I'll show you. Yum. Watch this. Here. There we go. All right. You ready? Don't take long. Here we go. So the liquefied spinach, all the fruit. Of course, you always want to make sure you never use ingredients that dogs could be allergic to. So nothing that's in here is bad for dogs. So, right? We would never put any grapes or raisins in here. See, that could be dangerous. Whoa, looks good. Boy, you enjoying that? Look at that disappear. Holy moly. But all those macronutrients and all the micronutrients, all the antioxidants, and all those omegas going into her, good. Considering she's a 12-year-old Chiweenie. Huh. Not getting young anymore. She's getting gray like her dad. Oh, awesome. Still trying to decide what to have with Super Bowl today. I was going to drive out to my daughter's Orange County, but I just don't feel like making that drive. So I'm just going to hang. Come on. I got my Steve sitting on the wall with my surround sound. So, it's not going to be like I'm, exactly scrimping or anything. Hey, well, you got to have good vision for, important things like, sports and especially all the news I've been watching. Oh. Now, in this protein shake, I'm probably talking about, I'm going to guess somewhere between 450 and 400 calories thereabouts. This is a complete meal replacement, for me. So this will be my mid-morning meal. Breakfast, I just do very light, some fruit, usually just a little bit of carbs, normally no protein that early. Not before workout. I don't do any protein before workout. I work out every morning, except for one day a week I take off. Oh, yummy. And a belt is your watermelon. Watermelon. Mm-hmm. All right, hang on. I think this one's all broken up already. Doo-doo. Nope, I got a whole one right here. Ta-da! Perfect. 50 milligrams. If you were wondering. Mm-hmm. To your health. I know that'll fill you up. That's really good. Mm. Well, let's put it this way. Compared to some of the meals that I used to eat 110 pounds ago, this is a lot better. Mm. All of my internal organs will appreciate this, especially the spinach. Literally, you want to kick up your brain power? You want to boost your brain power 10 to 12%? Easy. Incorporate spinach into your diet on a regular basis. Every single week, I go through a container of organic baby spinach. I put it in everything. Everything. Protein shakes, egg salad, tuna salad. Put it in regular salads naturally. I use it instead of lettuce in sandwiches. I mean, it's amazing what you can find to do with it. And by itself, you just take a handful of spinach, you put it in a pan, a little pat of butter, maybe just a little bit of ahi mirin, some of the ahi mirin, a little bit of that in there with it. Oh, it's amazing. Awesome. Just as a side dish. Woo! All right, I think we're ready to head in, do some stretching. Who's joined us? Is that Lily? Hey! Say! How you guys doing today? Happy Super Bowl Sunday. What? Are you going to come join us? Well, come on then. Well, hurry up. Well, let's go. You coming? Are you coming? Come on. We're going to go do some stretches. You ready? Well, let's go. Well, come on. Yeah, I'm waiting for you. Yeah, we're waiting for you. Yeah, we're waiting for you. We're waiting for you. Well, come on. Look, the boys are already hanging out in here. Huh, boys? Boys are already hanging. Boys are already being really lazy, huh? Boys are here. We're dropping you guys all over the place. Say hi to the boys. Hi, boys. Say hi to Zeke and Zachary. What? Baby. Are you coming up? All right, I better move this. Come on then. Hurry up. Let's go. Oh, good job. Well done. Yeah, doggy steps. Must have doggy steps, right? Let's put you guys up here. Turn around. You can see what's going on. How's everybody doing today? Happy Super Bowl Sunday, by the way, y'all. Yay, Super Bowl Sunday. Who you guys pulling for? Who's joined us? Oh, just Lee did. Anyhow, Super Bowl Sunday, it has arrived. It is here. I think you can figure out how I'm dressed, what team I'm pulling for today. How about you guys? If you got a team that you're pulling for, are you guys planning on watching the Super Bowl? Not everybody into Super Bowl. I like it mostly because of the commercials. The commercials are awesome. I mean, that's the funnest part. Are the commercials? Seriously. Yeah, you guys hit me up if you have any questions. My workout's already been done today. I went and got my workout done early. Just had my morning protein shake, so I'm just kind of hanging, getting ready to go watch Super Bowl here in a bit. But I wanted to at least pop on and see if anybody had any questions they wanted me to talk about today. Any topics that you have in mind that I can enlighten you on? Any issues you want to cover? I'm going to get comfy in the meantime. Don't need to be wearing no socks in the house. Got out and did my mileage this morning. Yeah. How's everybody doing out there? Y'all sleep good last night? Hmm? There we go. Maybe we'll play some Lice Water if you guys want to play some Lice Water. If you don't have any questions for me, making my day way too easy on me, you guys. You've got to hit me up with some questions if you have any. And I am going to Alexa, say hello.
Hi there.
Alexa, tell us something interesting.
Siamese cats are white-bodied, with black ears, socks and tails, but if they're cold for a while, they go black all over.
Not terribly exciting. Okay, I suppose. You guys want to play Lice Water, or do you guys want to play True or False? Come on, somebody pick. Lice Water or true or false? Which one? We can do either one. Lice Water, they give you 7 questions and you have to give them a true or false. True or false, you get 5 questions and then they count up every time. And we can do either one or both. Take your pick. Hang on, I gotta grab something. Buttage. Must have buttage. Who's popped on there? What is it, Dan? Lice Water while you stretch. Sounds like a plan. Hey, Alexa, why don't you play Lice Water?
Greetings. Welcome to Lice Water, the voice-activated true or false trivia game. I'm going to share 7 statements. After each, say truth or lie. Let's begin.
Let's.
Echidna babies are born larger than the adults.
Repeat that.
Echidna babies are born larger than the adults.
Lie.
You say lie. You are right. That's a lie. Echidnas gain their powers from chaos emeralds.
Lie.
You answered lie. Yep, that's a lie. Echidnas build their nests from their own feces.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie.
Burning some incense, you can.
You were right. That's a lie. Echidnas don't grow tongues until they're 3 years old.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. Yep, that's a lie. Echidnas have 4-headed penises.
Lie.
Echidnas have 4-headed penises.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. And you were wrong. It was true. An echidna is a real animal and not just something we made up.
True.
You seem to think this one's true. You were right. It's true.
4-headed penis.
Echidnas have bowl-like milk patches instead of nipples.
Lie.
You answered lie. And you were wrong. It was true.
It sounded weird enough to be true, but...
Time for the final tally. You scored 5 points. I would classify that score as just fine. Would you like to play again?
Sure. All right, Dan, you ready to do some stretching? Lily, you can join us as well.
Welcome to Lice Water.
Did I say? Let me put on my old man glasses to make sure I'm saying that right. Nothing worse than saying some of the names. Lily, it is Lily, right? Lily Tesfaye.
Black licorice was originally flavored and dyed with squid ink.
Lie.
You answered lie. You were right. That's a lie.
Stretches. Touch the ceiling.
A group of squid is known as a whoopee.
True.
You seem to think this one's true. And you were wrong. That one's a lie.
I liked it anyway.
The opalescent squid propels itself forward by burping.
True.
You seem to think this one's true. But you were wrong. It's a lie.
Guess I don't know much about
partially cooked squid inseminated a woman's mouth in Korea.
Lie.
You say lie. And you were wrong. It was true. Giant squid kill a dozen surfers every year in New Zealand.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right.
It'd be in the news.
Wearing squid tentacles like a mustache is a symbol of status for Japanese fishermen.
Lie. Silliness.
You seem to think this one's a lie.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's a lie.
I don't eat them either.
A giant squid's eye is the size of a basketball.
True.
You answered truth. Yes, it's true.
Because they're so down so deep.
Brace yourself for your final score.
3?
You scored 4 points.
Oh, 4.
Completely respectable showing. Would you like to play again?
Sure. Toe touches, you guys.
Hi, welcome to Lice Water, the true or false trivia game from Jackbox Games. I'm going to share 7 bizarre statements. After each, say truth or lie. Let's begin. Catherine the Great would often bathe in breast milk.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie. Breast milk is actually formed in the lower back.
Lie.
You answered lie. You were right. That's a lie. Scientists have engineered cows to produce human breast milk.
True. And it's gross.
You seem to think this one's true. You were right. It's true. Men can lactate.
True.
You answered truth.
Body twist, elbows to the
Yes,
back.
it's true. Women with larger breasts generally produce less breast milk.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie. Moms produce different types of milk for baby boys and girls.
True.
You say truth. You were right. It's true. Eating pineapple will make a woman's breast milk taste like cherries.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie. Okay, we've done
Nice
all
crack.
7. You scored 7 points. Perfect score. Would you like
Better
to
than
play
last
again?
time. Sure.
Greetings. Welcome to Lice
Stretch out
Water,
shoulder.
the
30-second hold,
voice-activated
you guys.
True or false trivia game. I'm
Minimum.
going to share 7 bizarre statements. After each, say truth or lie. Let's get started. Mr. Rogers' first name was Roger.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. You were right. That's a lie. Mr. Rogers was an ordained minister.
True.
You seem to think this one's true.
Only hold this as far
Yes,
as
it's
comfortable.
true.
Do not pull it beyond comfort level.
Mr. Rogers' stolen car was returned with an apology note from the thief.
True.
You answered truth. You were right. It's true.
Shake it out. Other side.
Michael Keaton was a puppeteer on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
True.
You say truth. You were right. It's true.
Beetlejuice.
Mr. Rogers would pinch his inner thigh when voicing Prince Tuesday.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie. Mr. Rogers recorded an audio version of the Aeneid entirely in Latin.
Repeat that.
Mr. Rogers recorded an audio version of the Aeneid entirely in Latin.
True.
You say truth. But you were wrong. It's a lie.
Where do they come up with these questions?
Mr. Rogers appeared in a Vidal Sassoon commercial.
Lie. Cross front.
You say lie. Yep, that's a lie.
30-second hold, you guys.
Brace yourself for your final score. You scored 6 points. Great job. Would you like to play again?
Sure. Go for it. Yes.
Well, hello there. It's time to play Lice Water, the crazy true or false trivia game. I'm going to share 7 statements. After each, say truth or lie. Let's get started. Google has a Klingon language setting.
True.
You answered truth.
Kapla.
You were right. It's true. Bing was named after Chandler Bing from Friends.
Lie.
You say lie. Yep, that's a lie. The very first internet search engine was called Spider-Man.
Lie.
You answered lie. Yep, that's a lie.
ARPANET.
In North Korea, all Google searches for kittens are blocked.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's
What
a
would
lie.
they have against cute kittens?
Yep, that's a lie. Ask Jeeves was created by a real butler.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie. Yahoo stands
Who's
for
right?
yet another hierarchical officious oracle.
Hey. Repeat that.
Yahoo stands for yet another hierarchical officious oracle.
True.
You seem to think this one's true. Yes, it's true.
Knees, you guys.
A man in South Dakota built a guest house using only AOL CDs.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie. All right, final score time. You scored 7 points. You really cleaned up during the perfect game. Would you like to play again?
Yes.
Greetings. Welcome to Lice Water, the voice-activated true or false trivia game.
Open up the hips, you
I'm
guys.
going to share 7 impossible-seeming statements. After each, say truth or lie. Let's begin. Lucy was endorsed by the American Psychiatric Association.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie.
They're talking about from Charlie Brown.
You were right. That's a lie. Charlie Brown was killed off for a year in 1967.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie. Charlie Brown has an imaginary friend named Howard who regularly steals his shirt.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie. You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown is the most produced musical ever.
True.
You say truth. Yes, it's true. Charlie Brown was voiced by a young Chevy Chase in A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. You were right. That's a lie. Charlie Brown had a friend named 555-95472.
Lie. Wrist rolls, you guys.
You answered lie. And you were wrong. It was true.
Wow.
Charlie Brown had Snoopy neutered in 1974.
Lie.
You answered lie. Yep, that's a lie.
To the inside.
All right, final score time. You scored 6 points. Well, I'm impressed. Would you like to play again?
Sure. Who's joining
Hello,
us?
it's time to play Lice Water.
Hey, Ennis, what's going on?
True or false trivia game.
Welcome
I'm going
aboard.
to share 7
We're
statements.
just playing Lice Water. If you have any questions, let me know, bud.
Let's begin. Al
We're doing some
Capone had a
stretching,
tattoo
too.
of Sherlock Holmes on his left arm.
Repeat that.
Al Capone had a tattoo of Sherlock Holmes on his left arm.
Lie. Elbow
You
rolls.
answered lie. You were right. That's a lie. Al Capone's brother was a prohibition officer.
True.
You seem to think this one's true. You were right. It's true.
Frank Capone, I believe.
Al Capone had an underground Chicago tunnel that led directly to a candy shop.
True.
You seem to think this one's true. But you were wrong. It's a lie.
Sounded good.
What is
Al
it?
Capone's friends called him Snorky.
Port, really?
Repeat that. I'm a personal trainer. We're just doing
I'm
stretching.
having some trouble understanding you. Answer truth or lie. Al Capone's friends called him Snorky.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. But you were wrong. It's
Snorky?
true.
Snorky?
There's a dorm named after Al Capone at Illinois State University.
Lie.
You say lie. Yep, that's a lie. Al Capone had syphilis.
To the inside. Yes, that's true. True.
You answered truth. You were right. It's
What killed him?
Al Capone's great-grandson is the founder of Build-A-Bear.
True.
You seem to think this one's true. But you were wrong. It's
Go
a
on.
lie.
That was a 50-50 there.
Time for the final tally. You scored 4 points.
Eh.
That's better than a lot of people do, probably. Would you like to play again?
Sure. Unless anybody has a question they want to hit me up with. Yes. Shoulder rolls, you guys.
Welcome to Lice Water,
To the back.
the true or false trivia game from Jackpot Game.
Just let these roll.
I'm
They
going to
feel
share
very good
7
if you're doing it
statements.
right.
After each, say truth or lie. Let's begin. Ranchers' phones were connected through barbed wire fences in the American West.
True.
You answered truth. You were right. It's true.
Is this robot for asking questions?
John Wayne coined the term Wild West.
Lie. You can ask any question you want. No
lie.
robots involved.
Yep, that's a lie. The U.S. Army had a camel corps stationed in Texas during the mid-1800s.
True.
You answered truth. Yes, it's true.
We're just playing Lice Water till somebody has a question they'd like me to
Saloons
answer.
in the Old West rarely served alcohol.
Repeat that so you guys can hear it. Repeat.
Sorry, I'm not sure what you said. Answer truth or lie. Saloons in the Old West rarely served alcohol.
Lie.
You say lie. You were right. That's a lie.
We'll roll back to the front this time, you guys.
The gunfight
Hey,
at the
Kelly.
OK Corral didn't happen at the OK Corral.
Repeat that. It's true, though.
The gunfight at the OK Corral didn't happen at the OK Corral.
True. Shoulder rolls to
You
the
say
front, you guys.
True. You were right. It's true. Billy the Kid robbed his first bank when he was 8.
Lie. Cool.
You answered
You
lie.
guys can play too.
Yep, that's a lie. James K. Polk suggested that the land west of the Mississippi be designated a prison state.
Lie. Other side.
You answered lie. You were right. That's a lie. Brace yourself for your final score. You scored 7 points. No fooling you, apparently. Would you like to play again?
Sure, unless somebody's got a challenging question for me. Let me peek in. How you guys doing out there?
Welcome to Lice Water.
Eagles or Patriots, you guys? Oh, yeah, I've been to many Angels games, Dan.
I'm going to share 7 bizarre statements. After each, say truth or lie. Let's begin.
Go Angels.
Good champagne should smell faintly of rotten eggs.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie.
It is.
Yep, that's a lie.
Head rolls, you guys.
Champagne was considered a peasant's drink before the French Revolution.
True.
You say truth. And you were wrong. That one's a lie.
Yeah, you're right.
Cristal has
Not
a
sure
clear
how to
bottle
do that
in
on
order
here.
to discourage poisoning.
Repeat that.
Cristal has a clear bottle in order to discourage poisoning.
True.
You seem to think this one's true. Yes, it's true. Miller High Life is bottled in champagne.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. Yep, that's a lie. In Sweden, it's a show of wealth to pour expensive champagne down the sink.
Lie.
You answered lie. And you were wrong. It was true.
That's more like a sign of insanity.
Lawrence Welk's coffin is a giant plastic champagne bottle.
Lie.
You say lie. Yep, that's a lie. Monocles were invented because champagne corks regularly broke eyeglasses.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. Yep, that's a lie.
That's just silly.
Okay, now you did. You scored 5 points. That's better than a lot of people do, probably. Would you like to play again?
No,
Thank you for playing Lice Water.
not yet.
Sure
We can
to
get
check
back to
out
that
other
in a minute.
games at
I want to see if you guys have any questions first.
Goodbye.
Otherwise, I have a.
Lice Water. I recommend another popular knowledge and trivia skill called Volley Family Trivia Game. Would you like to try it?
No. An obtrusive AI. What next? Tell me what team to vote for today there, Alexa. Eagles or Patriots?
Tom Brady and the Patriots will take on the underdog Philadelphia Eagles in Minneapolis. The Pats are the first team to make 10 Super Bowl appearances, while the Eagles return to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2005. The big game kicks off Sunday, February 4th, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC.
She still didn't tell me who she picked, though. Anyhow, you guys, it's going to be an awesome day today. Super Bowl Sunday is always fun for me. Hey, Udenlo, what's going on? Fred, what's going on? Yeah, usually, Dan, I do this on my laptop or one of my laptops. This morning, I'm just doing it on my cell phone, so I wasn't planning on spending a whole bunch of time today, but enough so that if anybody has any questions on Super Bowl Sunday, I'm here. Right? Remember, I'm the guy that used to be the 110-pound, guy. 31-year cigarette smoker, had to get his health in order, and now I help other people do the same thing. This year, I'm helping people quit smoking for free. So if you happen to still have that monkey on your back, you want to get rid of the cigarettes, just reach out to me on any of my social links. Facebook is probably the quickest one on my Facebook page for Pushing Double Nickels, my book. That I respond to almost immediately. So anyhow, if you guys have any questions, it doesn't have to be personal training related, doesn't have to be health related, even though those are the two big topics that I work on. If you want to talk about animals, I'm a dog expert. I'm writing a dog book right now. I'm also a cat expert. I've had cats forever as well. If you have any questions or anything you want to talk about as far as animals, especially dogs, I'm in. Hachiko. Okay. I was in Japan for almost 2 years, stationed there as a young Marine. I love the Japanese and Japanese culture, just absolutely awesome folks. So if you are Japanese, I'm just guessing. Welcome. In the meantime, hit me up. The category is Ask Questions. I wrote a book, and I've got 80 chapters in that book, and only about 5 or 6 of them are super duper, human important related, quitting smoking, losing weight, managing type 2 diabetes, managing lower back pain. Remember, you guys, 100 million Americans, like me, suffer lower back pain. So if you're one of those people, I help people with that. I mean, those are things that you can work on. If you have lower back pain, you're not stuck to have lower back pain. I mean, there are always ways that you can at least try to mitigate the pain, live with chronic pain. Those of us who live with chronic pain know that every day is a matter of pain and pain management. And that's the two different things that happen when you're living in chronic pain, and 1 out of 3 Americans is living in chronic pain. When you're living in chronic pain, it comes down to pain versus pain management. That is a very delicate balance. Right now, there's an awful lot of Americans who are pretty much over that balance, and we are losing a lot of people because of that on a daily basis. I'm not just talking about the people that are getting hit with the heroin and the fentanyl issue, the illegal drugs. I'm talking about the people that are also abusing or taking too many over-the-counter medications, too many of the opioid pain medications. I understand that completely. I have been on opioid medication nearly 20 years for my back issues. I understand that 100%. It always comes down to being able to take, in my opinion, the minimum amount that you need to still be able to function reasonably and get things accomplished, to not turn yourself into a zombie because of the pain. And that's got to be a combination of things that you do over-the-counter meds if need be from your doctor, but working with your physical therapist, working with a personal trainer or health coach, working with groups in your area. Maybe it's a meetup group that does yoga. Anything that gets you a little bit more stretched and moving. Because with the lower back especially, and mine is osteoarthritis and a couple other nasty issues. So you want to make certain that if you're fine, Hachiko, just fine. Actually, my favorite is if I was any better, there'd be two of me. But then again, there's a few folks out there that would probably scare, so we won't go there. But like I say, 1 out of 3 of us suffers lower back pain. I happen to be one of them. And that's an issue that we're all, not all of us, but in one way or another, either you have lower back pain or you know somebody who has lower back pain. It's that simple. When there's 324 million Americans and over 100 million Americans are suffering some form of back pain, then you are either one of the people that has the back pain. I mean, look left, look right, because you either know them or you are one of them. So, and I happen to be one of them. And to be able to live with that, and that is a chapter I put in the book, living with chronic pain. That comes down to keeping the balance. That comes down to making certain that you take your medications at the right time, the same time every day. Right? If you have the ability to set aside what you have to take every day during the day at each specific hour and set that aside, do it. Right? Use those containers that have the Sunday through Monday and put them in the proper containers. That way you know you're not wondering, well, did I take the meds I was supposed to take this morning? And you don't wind up doubling up or tripling up, and sometimes worse. And there are people that are permanently taking too much medication, if you understand what I'm saying, that they aren't even aware that they already took a dose that they thought they didn't take. And then again, that same thing can happen an hour later and an hour later. And by the time the end of the day comes, their breathing could be so suppressed, they may not wake up the next morning. So this is an issue we're losing between 150 and 175 people a day to this crisis right now. Right? You either are one of the folks who understands and is affected by it, or you know somebody who is. So if anybody has any questions on this, like I say, being in balance, keeping the balance is the key. When you lose that balance, and sure, you can fall off the wagon, but if you fall off the wagon, you can get right back on. It is not a permanent thing that happens. All right. So if you have to reach out, and I don't care how bad you might think somebody thinks about you, right? Ignore that. If you fall off that wagon, you need to get back on that wagon. I don't care who you have to reach out to. Reach out. It's worth it. It is well worth it. Because once you're back on that wagon and once you start getting back in balance and you look back over your shoulder, you will know that you made the right decision. Okay? So I'm throwing this out there and specifically for one person in particular who I know has fallen off the wagon recently. And like I say, we're all either affected by this or we know someone. So, anyhow, who's joined us? Thinking about what? Thomas Mueller, how's it going? So hit me up, you guys. It's Ask Questions. Personal trainer, health coach, author, public speaker. Take your pick. I have had a long career in doing many things. I answer a lot of questions all the time. The more challenging the question, the better. If you happen to be one of the people like I was talking about who suffers lower back pain of any sort, then you need to make certain that your activity levels are going to be the best for what you need to be able to accomplish, to be able to move, to get around. You do not want to become one of the people that happens to be permanently sedentary, and they're out there. I'm watching them all the time. Some of my clients were beginning to get into that position. On television, they actually have a show, and it scares the living daylights out of me, My 600-Pound Life. Now, don't forget, I was almost halfway there. Before I was that, I was this, 252 pounds worth, and a 30-year cigarette smoker. So I didn't do myself any favors. And I sat around for 25 years in computer training and got heavy and permanent damage to my lower back as a result. If you're one of those folks who's carrying more weight than you should, you might also be suffering lower back pain. Carrying extra weight puts all that pressure on your lumbar area, your lower spine, also on your hips. It doesn't do a whole lot of good for your tailbone or your coccyx either. All of these things, despite what's going to happen to your endocrine system, your pancreas, when it eventually says, well, sorry, but I'm just not going to work too well anymore, and I'm not going to create enough insulin to process the blood sugars that you're putting through your system. At that point, your pancreas begins to die off, and then, like me, you become a type 2 diabetic. And that's nothing to mess with. When you get hit with that diagnosis, when the doctor says to you, well, you have type 2 diabetes and you need to make some changes. And remember, at the time I got hit with type 2 diabetes, I'm 46 years old, I'm 252 pounds. Right? My BMI, and if you don't know your BMI, please find out what your BMI is. It's a very simple thing. Okay? You look at the body mass index calculator, the BMI calculator, go Google it or pull it up on the cdc.gov website. You put in your height and you look at your weight and you follow it to that little square in the middle of the box. It'll tell you right there, that's your body mass index. This is your BMI. When I was 252 pounds, my BMI was 38, which is very obese. Now my BMI is 22, where it's supposed to be, 21, 22. All right, so now it's where it's supposed to be, but this is 110 pounds later, right? 13 years almost and 110 pounds later. So if I had stayed, 250 plus pounds and I kept smoking the cigarettes when I was diagnosed, if I'd have just crossed my fingers and hoped for the best, I probably would have kicked it a long time ago. Seriously. I would have probably had a heart attack in my sleep or maybe a stroke or something would have happened, because there's no way that I could have kept on smoking cigarettes, and I did it for 31 years from 15 to 46. There's no way I could have kept smoking the cigarettes and kept stuffing the food in my face and kept getting as unhealthy as I was getting and not have expected something pretty bad to happen. And it happens all the time. Think about this, you guys. Tonight, 90,000 people will go to sleep and not wake up tomorrow morning. Are you with me on this? Let me say that again. Tonight, let me get a little closer and get a little bit more in your face on this one, because this is important. And you need to understand this, especially you guys. Hey, Elena, how's it going? Alyssa, what's going on? You need to understand this, you guys, because I know most of you out there are millennials. And I like this platform because all my kids are millennials, and I expect all millennials, including all 4 of mine, 2 boys, 2 girls, I expect all millennials to live to 100 plus. Without drooling on yourselves, without wearing diapers. You hear what I'm saying? Active, fit, healthy. I mean, we are at a time now in modern society and medical society and information technology is converging to the point where in 50 years we will end the aging process. We already know what causes aging. We already understand the telomeres on the ends of our cells. We already know what causes aging. Okay? During your lifespan, we're going to figure out how to stop that. But dig, for the second year in a row, lifespans have shortened. Let me repeat that. For the second year in a row, out of 50, 60 plus years that's being tracked, for the second year in a row, 2016 and 2017, lifespans decreased on average. That shouldn't be happening. That should not be happening, you guys. And I know why it's happening. I mean, it's very evident. We have an obesity epidemic happening. Not just in the United States, it's a global epidemic. 20% of the world population is currently obese. But, and this is the scary part, out of the 324 million Americans, 2/3 are either overweight, like I was, or obese, like I was before that. 66 to 67% of America right now is caught up in an obesity epidemic. I was caught up in the obesity epidemic. And to follow it up, almost equally as bad is the diabetes epidemic. Again, I got caught up in. I'm full blown type 2 diabetic. I had to get rid of the weight and get rid of the cigarettes and manage the diabetes. Or again, I would have probably had fingers and toes cut off by now. My eyesight would be going. I might not even be here from diabetic neuropathy or retinopathy. My pancreas is only half active as is. So I will be on diabetes medication the rest of my life. But I plan on being around for another 5 decades. And my objective is to make certain that all you guys stay around much longer than that. Hey, Joe, what's going on? So, getting in your face again. Tonight, 90,000 people are going to go to sleep and not wake up tomorrow morning. 90,000 every night. You can go Google it. It's about 87,000. I'm rounding it off to 90. The bottom line is, every single night, people go to sleep and do not wake up the next morning. And a lot of them, this doesn't have to happen because they're overweight, they're obese, they're sedentary, they have them deconditioned, and their hearts literally explode on them in their sleep. And I have a theory why more people are dying. Every day we lose about 160,000 people. Just every day, about 160,000 people die. 90,000 are happening during the 8-hour period of sleep. In other words, a lot more people are dying during that time when we're supposed to be sleeping than the 16 hours when we're awake. And I've got a pretty good theory on this one that I'll share with you. What do you do for work now, Brad? Well, what I do for work now, Dan, is I'm an ACE certified personal trainer and an ACE certified health coach by training. And that I just got at 56, just a few years ago. But I'm concentrating this year, not so much on paying clients. I'm currently writing my second book because I'm also an author. I wrote a book in 2014. I think I might have showed this to you. You'll find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Kindle. Anybody that wants the ebook or the digital book, I'll send it to you for free. Just reach out to me on any of my links and say, hey, Brad, here's my email address. Send me the digital book. And people have used chapter 1 to actually quit smoking because that's what chapter 1 is, quitting smoking. Chapter 2 is losing weight. I put in here, as a matter of fact, even the pictures of me when I was heavy, because I want people to understand that no matter how old you are, and I was 46 when I was 250 pounds and the 31st year of smoking cigarettes. I was 46 before I finally decided to try and get my health in order. But in the book itself, I got 80 chapters on pretty much everything. You can go pull up the first 30, 40 chapters for free and look at the table of contents. But right now I'm trying to write book number 2, Dan, and book number 2 is for animals, mostly for dogs. It's a dog book. I wrote book number 1 to try to help people because I got taken out of the IT career, my information technology career, because of my lower back issues. It's hard to work in an industry when you're sitting all the time, and you do that in information technology, computer training especially, and it's very hard to do that. And as much as I loved my career, and you looked me up on LinkedIn, you can see, but when you're in pain 24/7, 365, and sitting makes it worse. I was literally, my back surgeons, my physical therapist, my primary care doctor, they all got together and wrote a letter and said, Brad, you can no longer do this because it's just making you worse. It's just making things worse. So 2013, I was put out on permanent severe disability from computer training, from information technology. So I wrote a book. I published that book, Pushing Double Nickels, in 2014. I figured I'm way too young to retire. I mean, right, I was in my, 53, 54. I was pushing double nickels, get it, 55. And I figured there's no way I'm ready to retire, especially this young. Thanks, Huda. Way too young to retire at that age. So I wrote the book and I figured, all right, cool. If this book can help people quit smoking and lose weight and manage their back pain and take control of their diabetes, just if I can help a few people by publishing the darn book, I feel, like I've done something. Then I figure, well, what can I do now beyond this? Because, yeah, okay, I can write another book, and that I'm doing. But I also decided, and I saw something about a health coach because I was trying to help other people, lose weight and quit smoking and do the things I've done anyway. That's just me. So I figure if a health coach, and it's a fairly new job title, a fairly new certification, and you can look it up on Google. The mine is ACE. I'm an American Council on Exercise certified personal trainer and certified health coach. The two on the wall. I got the personal trainer because that's a prerequisite to become a health coach. For me, the health coach is what I wanted. Because sure, as a personal trainer, I can help you lose weight and get in shape, but the scope of practice for a personal trainer is much more limited than that of a health coach. The health coach, which is what I really do for me, is someone that I cover the entire person. The entire individual, not just, this piece and that part. I mean, as a human being, you've got many layers, you've got many parts. For me as a health coach, keeping you balanced in all the important ones is my job, bringing you to balance in those, and then making you your own personal trainer, health coach, so you don't need me anymore. Sure, I don't mind you paying me hourly, and I'm well worth every penny, believe me. But I would rather have somebody self-sufficient enough so that for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, they can go handle it on their own. You're your own best trainer and health coach. I mean, your own kick yourself in the butt yourself. Right? So I decided if I'm going to be a health coach, which is what I wanted to be, I had to get the personal trainer anyway. That was prerequisite. You cannot become an ACE certified health coach unless you become an ACE certified personal trainer first. So I got the personal trainer, and then 6 months later, I got the health coach, and that was both at age 56. So here's one for you, you guys. Here's a challenge for you. This year, I'm going to be the exact same age as the year I was born. Not the 19, you can cut off the 19, the last two digits. So this year, I'm going to be the exact same age as the year I was born. And see if somebody can guess. Come on. You got to be close. I've already given you hints on how old I am anyway. But just see if you can guess that one. It's just a fun one. But bottom line is, if you're one of those folks out there who is where I was, overweight or obese, good news is you can get better. You can make those changes. You don't have to sign up for any stupid diet programs and do these stupid surgeries. And I mean, I don't care if you're obese. If you have to lose a lot, you can still do it, right? So ignore all the stupid darn commercials that are out there, because you'll see them all day long. The South Beach diets and the Weight Watchers and the Marie Osmond who lost that same 50 pounds 50 years ago and has been hawking that product ever since. You don't need those things. You don't want those things anyway. I don't want anybody to diet. I mean, diet infers you're doing something short term. You're looking for a quick fix. You're looking to lose weight fast, lose 47 pounds in 10 seconds. And that's what they all promise you. But they all want you to sign up for their meal replacement programs, for their membership plans. Basically, they just want you to pay them money for however long you're willing to pay them money for. And as far as I'm concerned, you don't need to pay them a nickel. In fact, you don't even need to pay me a nickel if you don't want to hire a personal trainer or health coach. You can do all this on your own. I mean, we have all the information now that you can become your own calorie counter. And you literally have to do that when you start to go towards more balanced living. And more balanced living means that you're not putting on weight. And if you're heavy or overweight, that means you're starting to lose weight. That means you're moving more towards balance. And for me, balance as a human being is not just the physical. Physical, yes, but you also have emotional, I mean, you have feelings. You have emotions and feelings. They have to be in balance. They can affect everything else, right? The same with your mental attitude. And your mental attitude is not just feelings. Yeah, feelings can affect your mental attitude, but mental attitude and your mental balance is completely separate from your feelings and emotions. Not that they aren't intricately tied together, but that's still a separate part of you that you have to keep in balance. Intellectually, you have to keep in balance intellectually. You have to keep your own logic center going. Literally, you have to have that center of balance going on inside your head. Uh, that simply means you're making proper logical decisions. You're moving in direction that is going to be leading you more towards a balanced life, more towards being a balanced individual than not. So the intellectual side, and then the spiritual side. We all have a spiritual side. And I'm not talking religion, guys. I mean, religion is fine. You have a religion and you believe in that religion. I believe all religions at their core are good. They get bastardized and blasphemized and turned into all kinds of crazy things. But at the core, all religions have the be good to yourself, be good to everyone else, be good to the planet. I mean, just be good is the general overall, don't do this and don't do that. Forget all that. Treat people properly. The way I look at it, and I don't judge anybody by what they look like, by their skin color, by their race, their religion, where they're from. I simply judge somebody, not that I like to use the word judge, but I determine whether or not I want to have someone in my life as a friend based on how they treat themselves, how they treat their friends and their family, how they treat the animals around them, how they treat their community and their neighborhood, and how they treat overall the planet. I mean, to me, I base somebody's character on their content. What do they do? How do they treat themselves? How do they behave? Right? That is how I base my opinions when I make an opinion on someone. And I would hope we're all that way. I mean, after all, Lord Almighty, we're all 99% human. Who knows? Do I support Trump? Well, just so you know, I've been a lifelong Democrat, so I'm not going to get into politics on here, but I have always been a lifelong Democrat simply because my beliefs lean me that direction. I believe in a woman's right to choose. I don't think anybody, man or woman or any other, has any right for anybody to tell them what they can or can't do with their body. Bottom line. And so I don't think that anybody has the right to tell any woman, whether or not she can do this or do that with her body. That's their opinion. That's strictly their business, not mine. Um, Too long. And I have friends who are Republicans. In fact, I was married to a Republican. But too long, the Republicans have held fast on the belief that they get to decide what happens to a woman's body. And I can't go there. I just can't go there. And so if that makes me a liberal Democrat, so be it. But bottom line is, every one of us needs to get up every morning and be able to look in the mirror and like who we see. When you get up in the morning and you look at that person looking back at you in the mirror in your entire lifetime, that's the only person that you're ever really going to have to live with. The only person you're ever really going to have to answer to is yourself. So if you can't get up every morning and look at yourself in the mirror and like who you see, then yeah, maybe it's time to make some changes. Think about, becoming a little more balanced. Anyhow, questions, you guys, hit me up. What do you want to know? What do you have opinions on? What do you want to know my opinions on? Like I said, who's going for the Eagles? Who's going for the Patriots today? I'm pushing for the Eagles today simply because I want the underdog to win. I mean, Brady and the Patriots, they're a machine. I mean, a machine. But I would really love to see the underdog Eagles win today. I just hope it's a great game. I mean, for me, there's nothing worse than a Super Bowl that's a blowout. And I've seen a lot of Super Bowls. And for me, a close game, that's awesome. At halftime, 14-14, or coming in the halfway through fourth quarter, just a touchdown separating. I mean, a close game to me is awesome. If it's a blowout, then I won't be watching the football as much as I am the commercials. And for me, the commercials are fun anyway. I was talking about my favorite one. I don't remember if it was last year or year before. The Puppy Monkey Baby. You guys remember Puppy Monkey Baby? Oh my God, I laughed. I laughed so hard. That was awesome. Seriously, Puppy Monkey Baby. I mean, you really have to be creative to come up with this kind of stuff. Wouldn't that be fun? I mean, seriously, to work in advertising and come up with those kinds of ideas and commercials. I mean, yeah, everybody, they're all sitting around, heavy puffing away. The bongs are going, and they're all having a good time with that. Live in EU, so I know nothing about it. Well, hey, Joe, what part of EU you in? Half my family's over in England. My mom's from London, so and I spent 4 years in Germany. So yeah, I love Europe. Absolutely love Europe. I plan to be back. I want to go hit my favorite places that I want to go back to in Europe. One, obviously, London. Got to go back to London. Fun, like a family there, and there's just so much to see. Paris, naturally. I want to go back to Nancy. Calais and Nancy, both. Calais is on the English Channel. So when you're going, I wasn't there when the channel, but I was there before the channel was built. So when I went from Calais to Dover, it was either on the hovercraft, the floaty things, or on the ferry. Right, and we did that every year. We drove up from Garmisch in Germany up through Nancy, all the way up through Paris, and then through up to Nancy, and then across over to Calais to Nancy, sorry. But for me, I want to go hit Paris again. I want to hit Nancy again. I want to go back to Berlin. I want to hit Luxembourg. I want to go back to Garmisch. I want to go back to Liechtenstein and Liechtenstein Castle, Neuschwanstein Castle. I want to go back to the Eagle's Nest if I can, down in Austria. I spent 2 weeks at the Eagle's Nest down there in Berchtesgaden. Oh, God, beautiful. And on my bucket list is Kew Gardens. Got to hit Kew Gardens. So, and of course, got to do the Sicily. I didn't make it to Sicily or Italy when I was there, so on my bucket list. But anyhow, I'm a big fan of Europe. You guys love the EU. I have dogs and cats. Matter of fact, here. This is Zeke. Say hi, Zeke. Hey, Zeke. This is a Chiggy, which is a Welsh Corgi and a Chihuahua. And we think he's about 4 years old now. Zeke has been with me for about 2.5 years. I have all my dogs are rescues. I do small dog rescue and have for about 30 years. This is Zachary. You see the tongue hanging out? Zachary's about 13 years old now, and he is a Chihuahua and a Pug combination. Cutest dappled ears ever, huh? But yeah, Zachary had been through it by the time he got to me. He had teeth knocked out, he had been beaten up, he'd been left to starve, and he was only about 6 pounds, about half the weight he is now when he came to me. And this was 2009, when I rescued him. He had been abandoned in an apartment complex up in Los Angeles, and they had let me know. So I went up and got my normal dog catching kit, which includes a Happy Meal. All dogs go for Happy Meals. I'm serious. They like the nuggets or the fries. Serious. That's one of the tools that I would bring with me. A towel, if I had to wrap them, a dog container, a dog carrier, food, water. I mean, everything that I needed to calm them down, hopefully, and catch them. And this guy he was a major challenge, because all he wanted to do was bite everybody. You couldn't get anywhere near him. He was really hard. What is it? Oh, thank you. Have you been to Algeria? I have not. I'd love to visit Algeria. Yeah, yeah. Well, next up on my hit list is Costa Rica. I'm going down to Costa Rica again here shortly. My cousin actually lives down there now, and I'll be down there and might be doing another speech at a health club down there for some folks. We'll see. I've got a new PowerPoint presentation that I'm putting together for public presentation. Keeping balanced in an unbalanced world is the working title so far. And I have one more monster, and she's probably hiding in here. Yeah, there she is. This is my little girl, Zoe. Say hi, Zoe. Here, turn on the light. My walk-in closet. Hi, Zoe. Now, Zoe is, yes, hi, sweetie. Come on, let's come down and say hi. Zoe. That's better. See, for those of you who know anything at all about dogs, you know that body language pretty much tells us everything we need to know about what's going on in their mind at any particular time. And Zoe is by far one of the most expressive dogs ever. Now, Zoe is a Chihuahua and a Dachshund, and she's about 12 years old. And I know for sure that she's about 12 because she's been with me since 2007 when I rescued her from a kill shelter. And she was about a year old. I'd say just about a year old at that time. She was still puppy. Remember, all dogs are puppies until they're at least 24 months old. What is it? I know, isn't she adorable? She, I mean, who couldn't love this? Seriously, who couldn't love this face? And she does little grunts. Little grunts when we're happy. Anytime a dog rolls over and presents you their stomach, one, that means they trust you implicitly because that is the position of surrender. Huh, sweetie? I will find Zoe kipped over in the middle of her back, in the middle of the room, in the hallway, the entrance to the kitchen. For Zoe, it simply means daddy pet me or daddy pick me up. Huh. Zoe suffers from panic attacks. Huh, sweetie? All my animals are rescues. Zoe just happens to be the oldest of my dogs right now. I lost one a couple years ago. No, just over 2 years ago. I lost my eldest Chihuahua. He passed away from old age in my arms. Same time I lost a yellow tabby. Zeus was 15 years old, 15-year-old Chihuahua, and my tabby was about 16, almost 17. But that's not the oldest cat. Huh. Bye, everybody. I want words like this. I had two dogs, only one now. The other one went to the microwave when I was out of. Oh no! That's bad. That's so bad. You make me laugh though. Hang on, I got one more to show you guys. Hang on. You're yawning, Zachary. Look at that face. Look at that face. Just look at these faces. Who couldn't love these faces, huh? Hard to believe that this little boy was taken to a shelter and dropped off twice. He was abandoned at a shelter twice. 2 times he was returned to a shelter. Can you imagine? Could you imagine how that feels? Seriously, to be rescued from a shelter only to be returned? I mean, can you imagine how horrible he must have felt? Poor guy. Beautiful colleague, for example. Yeah, said. Anyhow, I want to show you the other rescue in the house because I've got one more. Here we go. This here is Cassandra. Hey, Cass. Cass. Yes, sweetie. Yes, sweetie. Cassie is 18 years old. Little gray tabby. And she's been with me since 2002. Funny enough, she came along with a girlfriend. The girlfriend didn't last very long. But the cat stayed. Huh, sweetie? Right? Yeah. Say hi, everybody. Prettiest green eyes. She has got the most beautiful green eyes. Show everybody your green eyes. Come on. Show everybody those pretty eyes. Huh? Look at those eyes. I know. Mind you, I think she's slowly losing her mind. As cats get older, I find my yellow tabby, when she got to about 13, 14 years old, she was slowly losing her mind. And this one, if you so much as move, 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, I don't care what you do. If she hears you, for her, that means it's feeding time. So she starts caterwauling. And if any of you know what caterwauling is, then you know what I'm talking about. And that's exactly why they call it caterwauling too, because you really are just about that time, you're about ready to pick them up and go, hey, stop that. It's 3 in the morning. I'm not going to feed you now. But at 18 years old, you got to be nice. She's a senior citizen now. Huh. And senior citizen now, Dad. You can't pick on me because I'm getting old and senile, right? Right? Purrs like a lawnmower. Huh. Purrs like a lawnmower. She was feral when I got her. She was, yeah, the lady that had moved in with me for a brief period had taken her off the street, where she had lived evidently for a couple of years in the neighborhood. And cats don't live very long when they're outside animals. What? Zoe will follow me anywhere. Huh? What? What are you waiting for? What do you want? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyhow, so those cats, three dogs, one cat right now. If I had my way and I had the money, I would empty every freaking kill shelter on this planet and put them all in good homes. I'd make sure that every animal out there that was adoptable got adopted. I would shut down every pet puppy mill. I would, believe me, I would, every, the lifespan, well, dogs can live anywhere on average from 10 to 20 years, depending on the breed. Some of the larger breed dogs, unfortunately, have shorter lifespans. Smaller dogs can live up to 20 years or longer if you keep them healthy. Like I say, Zachary is 13 years old. Zoe is 12 years old. I expect them to go, many more years. My Zeus, my full purebred Chihuahua, lived 15 years. And yeah, I've known dogs that lived up to 20 and older. So on average, when you adopt a dog or you take a dog into your home, just expect 15 to 20 years, 15 to 20-year commitment. That's why every year before the holidays, I go on my annual rant to remind people, don't give dogs, cats, puppies, and kittens as Christmas presents or holiday gifts. That's crazy. Unless it's already planned in advance, unless they know in advance and they go, oh, sure, oh, that's wonderful. Because otherwise, all you're doing is handing somebody a 15 to 20-year responsibility, literally. It's the same thing as handing them a 2-year-old child that's going to remain a 2-year-old child for 20 years. And people aren't ready for this half the time. Oh, Zachary. That's why people wind up taking these poor little animals back into shelters. Do you realize that in 2017 we euthanized over 10 million dogs and cats just in America? Do you realize that? Just in the United States alone, just in the kill shelters, we killed over 10 million cats and dogs. That's insane. That's unacceptable. It's just not acceptable. And it's why when people adopt a dog or a cat, if they don't check in advance what's going to be required, oh, absolutely. No, they can't be given as presents. Hey, okay. Remember, anything that has a limbic system has feelings and emotions. Anything that has a limbic system, that means any mammal. I don't care if it walks, swims, flies, crawls, it doesn't really matter. I have yet to meet an animal that hasn't displayed some kind of emotions. Even non-mammals. I've seen emotions out of insects. And funny enough, scientists even believe that cockroaches have individual personalities. Think about this. The way we treat animals and things on this planet, I'm not saying all of us, but there's a certain percentage of human beings on this planet who are not good to animals. In fact, I'm the guy who's always constantly complaining that, anything that walks, swims, flies, crawls, human beings will find a way to mess with it. Either abuse it, use it, try to make money off of it, or put heads on walls. I mean, it's crazy. So I think we need to do a better job overall, with taking care of the life on this planet, my personal opinion. But first and foremost is our responsibility for the animals that wouldn't even exist if it hadn't been for our interference. I mean, look at it. We took a perfectly good gray wolf, right, about 50,000 years ago when we were still hunter-gatherers. And we were still hunter-gatherers up until good 10, 15,000 years ago. Now, all right, maybe up to 20,000 years ago, right? We were still hunter-gatherers. That's what we did. We were out there hunting and gathering. We didn't become civilized and start building colonies and planting, things until, Mesopotamia. Bottom line is, 50,000 years ago, we were still hunter-gatherers. We were out, by this time we had fire, right? We were also cooking meat at this time. So there we are. We have a nice warm fire. We're cooking meats. And remember, human beings have been human beings for 200,000 years. If you took a child from 200,000 years ago, 4 or 5-year-old child, well, let's say 2-year-old child, and raise them, right, and put them in school, they would be no different. You would not recognize a child from 200,000 years ago from one today. All right. So we have been pretty much the same as human beings for 200,000 years. 50,000 years ago, we're still hunter-gatherers, right? And gray wolves decided that they wanted to come around. They smelled what we were cooking. They felt the warmth of the fires. I'm sure it's probably started with gray wolf puppies that came up and became domesticated. But the bottom line is, we took a perfectly good gray wolf and turned it into everything from a 3.5-pound teacup chihuahua to 100, 200-pound mastiff, right, to Rottweilers and everything in between. We took a perfectly good gray wolf. That's what makes us more animals than them. Sorry to say, but we're really destroying what. Well, absolutely, Huda. But don't forget, human beings are animals. You can't separate yourself from everything else on this planet. Everything that we're made of, everything else is made of. Literally. I mean, we're carbon-based life forms. We're all carbon-based life forms. We share 80% or better of our DNA with dogs. We share 86% of our DNA with a lionfish. No, excuse me, zebrafish. Go Google it. Seriously. Go Google how much DNA you share with other things on this planet. Everything from animals to plants. I mean, human beings are literally made of all the exact same atoms that everything else on this planet is made of. Human beings and every single mammal, which is every animal you can think of with a limbic system, every single mammal has the exact same feelings and emotions that human beings do. We are no better or worse than the animals. We just happen to be at the top of the food chain right now. And I'm still not completely convinced of that. Yeah, you go put us out in the ocean for a little while and see how top of the food chain we are. But at least as far as land-based animals, we're the top of the food chain right now. We're the ones supposedly with the brains, the bicameral minds that allow us to make logical thought processes and decisions. Right? A dog does not have a sense of self. Right? A dog is like a 2-year-old child. A 2-year-old child understands things. A 2-year-old child understands many words. No, come. I mean, a 2-year-old child can process a lot of things, but a sense of self they don't have. A sense of me they don't have. We don't get the sense of self till we're 3, 4 years old. And then right around then, that's when our, whoa, things that I do, this is me. You know, the dogs don't have the, whoa, this is me and I can affect things in my environment and a social interaction as much. You know, human beings get that consciousness, that self-consciousness that develops about 3 to 4 years old. A dog will always be just on that verge, never quite at that level. Now, don't get me wrong, there are genius dogs out there, just like there's genius people out there. There are smarter and dumber ones. Well, I'm glad, Huda, because take it from somebody who knows, and I'm writing a dog book, so I consider myself something of an expert on this. There's one emotion that I find that humans have that I have yet to find in any animal. Certainly not dogs, cats, any of the domesticated animals. I've worked on the farm. I've worked in hog houses. I've worked with large herds of cattle, chickens. I mean, on the farm. I've worked with domestic animals. They have feelings. They have intelligence. Every one of them seems to have a sense of, I won't say sense of self as much of a sense of community within their social order. You know, all of the pigs have a social order. All of the cows had a social order. The horses had a social order, a pecking order, if you will. But intelligence and feelings, absolutely, positively, there was no doubt in my mind. And I have seen things that there's just no way to deny. The animal that I just saw doing what it did had to have some level of intelligence in order to do that. There's just no way to deny it. But of all the emotions that I've seen in animals, and I've seen happiness, sadness, depression, joy, elation, any emotion you can think of, there's one emotion that humans display, one emotion that humans have that I've yet to see in any animal. I dare you guys to guess what that emotion is. Seriously. Tell you, do I believe? I don't just believe in them, dear. I've seen them. I've seen too. I'm very much a you got to show me kind of guy. I literally, I mean, I'm not from Missouri, but I should have been born there, the show me state. You know, I'm very logically oriented. I'm very scientifically based. For me, logic and reason rule, right? Yeah, I mean, we all have our ethereal and our spiritual belief sides. That's fine. For me, I got to see it to believe it. So, yeah, I've literally seen two and heard a third. And that was a ghost dog. And that one, I still get goosebumps just thinking about that one. So I don't just believe in them, I know they exist. Joe, you are so good. You are so good. You nailed it. You really did. You nailed it. Hayden, you both nailed it. Good job, you guys. Seriously. I talk about this all the time. I've been here on YouNow for a few months now. And I talk about this all the time. Right? Hate is the one emotion that humans have that I have yet to see in any animal. I've yet to see any dog hate. Yeah, you poke an old dog with a stick, they'll get mad at you. I see them get mad. I've seen anger. I mean, I've seen strong emotions, aggression. But hatred, premeditated, I don't like you. I have yet to see that in any animal. Dog, cat, cow, pig, chicken, anything. Mind you, I wonder about geese sometimes. Because if any of you have ever been around a goose, they have an attitude. And they love to chase you and bite you. I'm not going to say it's hate, right? As much as just grouchiness. And of course, we can all be grouchy. I can be grouchy. Those of us who suffer back pain like I do, we can be grouchy. Those of us who have to deal with issues, especially if you have to take any medications for pain, that can make you grouchy. So we all have those kinds of issues. But I've yet to see any animal hate anybody. It just doesn't happen. I've never, ever, 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 ever seen any dog, and I've had them all. From my first dog was a German Shepherd when I was about 3 years old. My second dog was a teacup Chihuahua, just 2 years later. Unfortunately, my shepherd didn't make it. He was a former police dog that had brain injury, and eventually he went kind of crazy because of it. Anyhow, for me, I've always been about rescue animals. All my entire life, all my animals have been rescued ever since, you know, my early 20s when I took in my first rescued cat. And that turned out to be a 25-pound Maine raccoon cat. As he was when he turned out to be, he was huge. But I have rescued everything: rabbits, snakes, dogs, cats, birds, lizards, snakes, hamsters, gerbils, scorpions. I had scorpions for a short time in Phoenix, Tempe. Yeah, well, my house got filled with them because we had heavy duty storms and flooding, and I guess they just came in. Oh, so I wound up with kept three in a terrarium. Actually wound up they turned out I could handle them after a while. They're pretty cool. Anyhow, so my life has been animals, all animals. I've always had dogs and cats. And every animal I've had in the last 30 years has either been rescued by me at a shelter or off the streets. And I still do small dog rescue as often as I can. My friends and people locally know that if something's going on, they need to reach out. Mind you, newer in this area here, an area that I was in for 30 years, they knew to get a hold of me. But still, I help whenever I can. And what I'm going to do with 10% of the profits from the dog book, which I want to get done by the end of this year, and I hope every one of you guys buy a copy. But 10% of the profits that I'm going to use from the dog book are going to go to helping close the freaking shelters. Seriously. I mean, that is my big push. For me, as soon as we can get every single dog and cat and bunny and turtle and animal, and you'd be amazed. You go down to your local shelter, you're not just going to find cats and dogs. You'll find animals of any kind, every kind, and they all need homes. Most of the time, they have a week at a kill shelter, 1 week from the time they get taken in, and that could be for whatever reason. They could have gotten out of their backyard, somehow got lost. They could have run out the front door from something that scared them. 4th of July is the worst night of the year for dogs and cats. That following week, the shelters are fuller than any other time during the year. Why? They don't understand that humans are being idiots and blowing off firecrackers. All they know is the percussive sound is very loud. Remember, they hear 10 times better than us. They smell 100 times better than us. Right? A firework for a lot of dogs is an absolute panic. And for two of my dogs, I have to medicate them 4th of July and New Year's. So I know, and been this way for decades. So just understand, a dog has to be treated the same way as a 2-year-old child with athletic capabilities. Seriously, they don't have the ability to make the proper decision making that they need to do. They are not mature enough to be able to take care of themselves. My dogs, let them out loose and running around on the street, they're going to get run over, they're going to get hit by something or eaten by something or killed by something. I mean, my animals, and just like most dogs, right, I don't care if it's a 150-pound Rottweiler, right, he's still got the mentality of a 2-year-old child. Right? You don't just let them loose or throw them into a backyard and chain them to a tree or a doghouse. They need input, they need training. And the sooner it begins as a puppy, the better. There is no such thing as a bad breed of dog. There is no such thing as a dog breed that's aggressive. Right? For people to say that pit bulls are an aggressive breed, that just shows their ignorance. They don't understand what they're talking about. In fact, pit bull used to be known as the nanny dog. Seriously. Because they were so good with children. That's true. Go look it up. Go look up the nanny dog. That's what the pit bull used to be called. They only started getting this bad reputation in the last few decades, mostly because of idiots who train them aggressively, fight them, and inbreeding that causes genetic disorders that make them go crazy. And that happens with all of the breeds that are inbred, not just pit bulls. Any dog. A Chihuahua can become a maniacally aggressive dog if it's inbred and its DNA is skewed. So for me, there is no such thing as a bad dog, only bad humans, bad pet parents, bad people who do not understand that owning a dog isn't just a piece of property. It's a responsibility for a life form for 20 years. We're talking everything from their health, immunizations, their shots, their teeth, making sure their nails are trimmed, making sure they get baths, make sure they get their flea medication, everything required to keep them healthy. You want to see what I was talking about with Zoe? Hang on. This is what I find around the house all the time. And this has been going on for years. Remember, she's been with me since 2007. Huh, right? And this is simply Zoe's way of saying, I'm going to lay here right in the middle of the floor until you come over and pay me some attention or pick me up, right? Now, this little girl, when I first got her, she was a lot skinnier. She's put on some weight now that she's gotten up in years and she's going gray like her daddy, huh? Rub my belly, Dad. Rub my belly. Oh, feels so good. Rub my belly. Huh. You big monkey. You big monster, huh? But I'll tell you one thing that you can always count on from dogs. Unconditional love. Absolute unconditional love. Oh, I will. Yeah, I will. She's one of the most spoiled dogs on the planet. Seriously. All of mine are. To me, there's no difference between my dogs and my kids. And I've been through 4 teenagers, so I know they're a little bit more difficult, but at least these guys are never going to grow up and ask to borrow money and ask for the car keys and, wreck their car and do other kind of crazy things that all my teenagers did. But all my kids are in their 20s, grown and gone now, so I get to, now it's just time for me. So now it's time for me just to run around the world and make people better, make animals better, and just make things better in general. If I can do that without causing too much of a fuss, I will. But for me, I'm the guy that stirs the pot. I'm the one that's going to remind you if you're sitting on your butt all the time, get up. We've become a sedentary society. And take it from a guy who's 110 pounds heavier than he is now. And you don't have to constantly spend your life just eating and not worrying about it. Eventually, you have to take control. If you're one of those people that, like me, is overweight or obese, don't wait until you get hit with type 2 diabetes or something horrible like that before you decide to make some changes. So reach out. Hey, you can hire me. I'll help you lose weight. I'm worth every penny. If you're still a smoker, and let me remind you guys, anybody that still smokes cigarettes, I will help you do that for free. No, we're all part of the same society, I mean, I look at it like this, and this is in my book, so it's not just something I'm making up. If you look at the introduction, the first 30, 40 pages of Pushing Double Nickels, it's on Amazon. You go look up Pushing Double Nickels on Amazon. The first 30, 40 pages you can read for free. If you read in the introduction, I'm a firm believer of a global theory. Right? We're all sitting on this tiny little blue dot, this tiny little blue marble. Okay. I mean, yeah, the planet Earth is a beautiful place. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful, but it is literally a spaceship. We're all on this spaceship. And this spaceship happens to be hurtling through the universe at about 1,000,000 miles an hour. Literally. The Earth itself, as part of the Milky Way galaxy, is also part of something called the local group, which includes the Milky Way galaxy, the Andromeda galaxy, M2, a few of the galaxies in our immediate universal neighborhood. We are all traveling through space as space is expanding, because remember, the space is expanding. We're all traveling at about 1,000,000 miles an hour. So as you're sitting there, if you're sitting, keep this in mind. First, you're spinning. at about 17,000 miles an hour. The Earth is rotating at 17,000 miles an hour. We're traveling on this little blue dot around our sun, just an average size yellow sun. Eventually will become a red dwarf, which is the most common sun in the universe is our red dwarfs. There's like 10 times as many as yellow suns. But we're just on a little blue dot, one of 8 planets in this, spiral galaxy going around this average yellow sun at about every 24 hours, about 1,000 miles an hour, we're traveling around the sun as we spin at 17,000 miles an hour. As our solar system, which is in this little arm of the spiral galaxy, the Milky Way, which at the center of our galaxy has a super massive black hole, as do most galaxies now. We now understand most galaxies, if not all galaxies, have a black hole at their center. Right? That's what helps create them. And we're traveling at about a little less than 500,000 miles an hour in our spiral arm, right, going around the center of our galaxy. So we're spinning at 17,000 miles an hour. The Earth is going around the sun at 1,000 miles an hour. The sun and all of our solar system is going around the center of our galaxy at almost 500,000 miles an hour. And our galaxy and the local group, other galaxies in our area, are hurtling through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Go Google all of this. So you will never, ever be in the same place at the same time, ever. That's the only point I'm trying to make. I just love these random facts. Seriously. Hey, Zed. What's going on, Myrna? Well, let's put it this way. On this planet, we're all the shipmates. I don't care what part of the planet you're on. We're all traveling at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Everybody. I don't care if you're in the North Pole, South Pole, Equator, Europe, South America. I don't care where you're at. Right? We're all on this same little blue dot traveling through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Seriously. And at any time, and it's more like a pinball machine than it is space, literally. Because at any time, we could get nailed with a comet or an asteroid, very much like the one that hit the dinosaurs. We had one that nearly got us big time just under 13,000 years ago. 12,800 years ago, a huge 67-mile wide comet exploded just outside of Earth and rained down fire on this planet so that 10% of this planet was on fire. This was just under 13,000 years ago, guys. Imagine if that happened today. And in the space of time, 12,800 years ago is not even a split second in the history of time of the planet, the 5 billion years the Earth's been around. So 12,800 years ago was like, oh, that long ago, literally. So at any time, we're a target. Something could come out from behind the sun. That's our blind spot. Something big. And we would have maybe a couple months before it hit us. And if it was big enough, it could literally wipe us all out. It could happen. We've already had 5 extinction events on this planet, one of them being the dinosaurs. But we've already had 5, and another one's going to happen. Professor Hawking tells us we need to colonize elsewhere. We got to move to Mars. We got to find other places for humanity to go, because it's just a matter of time before we get nailed again. And there is the distinct possibility when that happens, humans could be gone. We could be extinct, just like the dinosaurs. It can happen, right? Now, think about this. And I want to leave you with this before I go get ready for Super Bowl. Hang on. Well, it's amazing because we all have this capacity. And this is what really makes me excited. Every human brain is a supercomputer. Everything that you ever hear, smell, taste, feel, read, experience, emotions, they're all stored up there. Seriously, we have got more hard drive space up there than you would believe. Yeah, some of us have the ability to access that information a little faster, a little easier. I mean, if I was like Mary Lou Henner, I don't know if you guys know who Mary Lou Henner was. Taxi was one of my favorite shows from the 70s. And there was a beautiful redhead on that show, Mary Lou Henner. She has the capability to remember every single moment of every single day of her entire life. Okay? And every single moment of every single day of her entire life. She can go back and play in her head every single moment of every single day. I have the ability to go back and play things in my head that I experienced in my childhood. I can go back and rewatch movies in my head. I can go back and rewatch my favorite episodes of shows that I've loved. I can go back and replay my favorite Taxi episode in my head. And as I'm thinking it, and it is literally playing in my head, I'm visualizing it. But we all have this capability, every one of us. It's just a matter of working on it, developing it. And for me, and I really thank my parents for this, reading. Reading. The more you read, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you want to learn. And I'm not talking about the kind of learning that I hated in school, because I hated school. School bored the tears out of me. In fact, I got out of school as fast as I could and had my father sign me into the Marines at 17 years and 3 months old. Let me out of here, because I wanted to get out in the world and go, 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 go. So I did, and I haven't looked back since. Okay? So, like I'm saying, every brain has that capability. Everything that you've ever heard, felt, seen, I mean, it's in there. You can retrieve it. It's just a matter of practicing. Recall is something that you can really become better at. And a lot of it has to do with reading and comprehension. The more you read, the more comprehension you get. The more your comprehension goes up, right? The more you enjoy it. And I don't care what you read. It could be a fiction, nonfiction, just pick your favorite topic. For me, and love my coffee too. But yeah, reading to me is just one of the most fundamental and best things that any human being can do to make themselves better. And that new commercial that's out about these audiobooks, listening is the new reading. I heard that and I think steam came out my ears. Yeah, well, as an author, a writer of books, somebody tries to tell me that listening is the new reading. No, I won't use the four-word expletives that were coming out of my mouth at that time, but let's just say my inner Marine came out and I told the commercial what I really thought about that. No, listening is not the new reading. Reading is the new reading, right? Your Kindle readers, to me, there's nothing ever going to replace the feel of a good book in my hands, right? Especially if it's an old book. Now, for me, going to the library is reverence. A library to me is more of a religious experience than going into a temple or a church. Right? Well, unless some of the places I've been are absolutely gorgeous, but books, solid books, knowledge. I mean, oh God, I wish we still had the books from Alexandria and some of the great libraries that have been lost. It's amazing. I mean, just the fact that we found the Dead Sea Scrolls, and now we have all of those. All the Dead Sea Scrolls have been transcribed, so you can go buy them. I bought them. I have them on my shelf. For me, I've got a library full of books. I probably have at least 1,000 books in my library. Everything from Tolstoy to Dickens to all the Lord of the Rings. I even have a few of my own books in there. But books are nothing's ever going to get rid of books. To me, brain power starts with the written word, as far as I'm concerned. Have you ever watched, played, read anything about? Oh yeah, I'm a big horror fan. Horror and science fiction. In fact, Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft. If you haven't read any H.P. Lovecraft, I mean, you really want to get into. And as far as horror, yeah, all the movies from Karloff, Boris Karloff, what was his name? Oh my goodness, Vincent Price. Bela Lugosi. The old ones are good, but some of the new ones are pretty scary too. I love a good scary movie, really. I love science fiction movies too. Those are my favorite, but pretty close behind are horror movies. I love good scary movies. especially the ones that are like scary but with an edge of humor on them. Those ones are really cool. That's hard to do, but one that will scare you but at the same time make you laugh. Yeah, those ones I really enjoy. Well, I don't insist on ghosts. I've seen two. The first ghost I saw was when I was in England at my aunt's house. Right? Every summer and every winter, we would go from Oberammergau, which is just north of Garmisch in Germany. We would drive over, and like I say, we crossed either the hovercraft or the ferry from Calais to Dover, and then drove into London. And at one at my aunt Dot's house, my aunt Dorothy's house in London, actually in Surrey, Surrey, yeah, anyhow, in London, a borough of London. Sleeping in the upstairs little bedroom, and all the houses. It's funny because all the places and everything in Europe is very small. That's why when they first came to America and they saw how big the house was and how big the refrigerator was, they were all like, "Wow, it's so big," because everything over there is so small. But I'm upstairs in the uppermost part of the house, and I'm sleeping by myself, in this little bed up there, and I woke up. It must have been 2 or 3 in the morning, and for some reason there was a little old man standing at the end of my bed. And I can still picture him clearly, although I could see through him. But I didn't think of that at the time. That didn't become a conscious thought at the time. I remember I sat up and I looked at him and I'm on my elbows and he's got a little pipe and he's got his little pipe and he's got a hat on and he didn't seem very tall. I mean, not short like a dwarf. I mean, but he wasn't that much taller than the end, the end of my bed. And he wasn't even looking at me. He was just standing there looking off and I'm looking at him. And I didn't even think twice. I just went back to sleep. And it wasn't until the next morning when I woke up and I go, well, that's odd. And then I mentioned it to my aunt, and she goes, oh, yeah, he's been seen a few times. So evidently he's a regular at her house for some people. And then the second one I saw, this was in Tucson, Arizona. Right? I mean, Tucson, Arizona. And I'm in a townhome, and a buddy of mine are sharing a townhome out on the east side. And one night I'm just sitting on the couch and a lady walks out of the wall and walks through into the kitchen. I mean, she walked out of the dining room. I'm in the living room sitting on the couch and she walks out of the wall and into the kitchen. What? I mean, the goosebumps literally are back. Just talking about it, you could see the goosebumps come up on my arm just talking about it. That was about the creepiest one ever. The little guy didn't bother me at all. For some reason, that didn't bother me in the least, right? But that lady, probably because I was wide awake when it happened. I mean, I wasn't asleep or nothing. I'm wide awake when it happened. And it wasn't late at night or nothing. This was, 8, 9 o'clock at night. So, yeah, I know they exist simply because I've seen them. If I hadn't seen two and heard another one in Kentucky, right? But that's a strange story in and of itself. Maybe he stole it. I don't know. All I know is that I look up and he was there. And the part that really kind of got me later was that I wasn't scared. Not even later I wasn't scared. Mind you, I didn't feel threatened by him. I didn't feel threatened by the one that walked out of the wall, in Tucson. And I've evidently come to find out later that there had been a doorway in there before it became townhomes. It was something else. And so I guess there were doors that connected all of the units at one time. So evidently she walked through a doorway that existed at that time, but no longer existed when they became townhomes. So, for me, I had to find out what the freak was going on. So I didn't stop asking until I got some kind of answers. And I got them from a lady that had lived there for a long, long time. I had a drawing puppet once, had it for a while until I had a nightmare with it and woke up to find it in a different pose. Threw it in the trash after. Don't buy stuff in shady stores. Yeah, well, it's interesting. People have real issues with dolls sometimes and clowns. I don't know what it is, but some people have real issues with clowns. And I gotta admit, creepy clown faces give me the willies too. You know, they're not the only one. They give me the willies too. Anyhow, you guys, I am going to go move my day along and get ready for Super Bowl. I'm going to go shower and figure out what kind of junk food I'm going to enjoy with my Super Bowl activities this afternoon. I hope I've been a little bit entertaining. I hope you've learned a little something. If you haven't fanned me up, please go ahead and fan me up now. I will be on this platform as many days this year as possible. One of my New Year's resolutions this year was to be on YouNow as many times as possible, as many days as possible this year to help people quit smoking, lose weight, get their diabetes under control or get off the pre-diabetes list, manage their chronic pain and deal with having to live with being on pain medications, and anything that I can do to help people become more balanced. For me, Martin Luther King Day, MLK Day, my give back day is every day this year. The cigarette smoking, I do for free. Anybody that's ready to get rid of the cigarettes, you just reach out to me on any of my platforms. The quickest one is to hit me up on my Facebook page for Pushing Double Nickels and send me a message. You can always email me at pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com. Anybody that's ready to quit smoking, that's my give back this year. So I will Skype with you. We'll put together a 90-day plan and we'll get that monkey off your back. Swear. Right? If you need help losing weight, getting your diet under control, learning how to control your nutrition, your portion sizes, any of the things that are going to make you healthier other than quitting smoking, hire me. Personaltrainingwithbrad.com. Personaltrainingwithbrad.com. That's my website. If you're a fan, you get an hour for free. Right? Initial consultation's free anyway. But if you're a fan on YouNow, and I will look, you'll get an hour of my time for free. So again, we'll put together a plan to get your weight off, to get you off the cigarettes, to make you more balanced. Bottom line is, if you want to live to 100 years without doing it in a diaper and drooling on yourself, you got to put in a little bit of effort. Right? Don't wait till you're in your mid 40s like me and totally out of health and get hit with a major health threat to start making changes. You know darn well if you need to lose weight, I don't need to sit here and get in your face about it. I know, I understand. So I'm the been there, done that personal trainer. I'm the been there, done that health coach. Right? So for me, I have a big advantage. I can help people lose weight and quit smoking because I've already done it. Right? You don't have to walk into a health club. I can help you do it from the comfort of your own living room on Skype. And that's where most of my clients get their help from me. So like I said, you want to quit smoking? That's free. Just reach out. I'll help you. You need to lose weight. You don't need my help, but I'm worth every freaking penny. So if I can kick you off and get you in 90 days or a 6 month program that's going to start getting you back in order and make you your own health coach or make you your own personal trainer, then I've done my job. Because for me, as soon as you don't need me anymore, that's when I'm successful. That's when you're hitting your goals, you're on target for weight loss, or you've already hit what you need to lose, and you're going to be your own best health coach and personal trainer the rest of your life. Right? Sure, you want to pay me $35 an hour for the rest of your life? That's fine. I love to keep a roof over my head. But at the same time, if I can motivate you enough to get out and do it on your own, awesome. Seriously. Quitting smoking, you can't start to get your health in order until you get rid of the cigarettes. Even if you're vaping, nicotine, you got to get it out of your system. Okay? And lastly, and remember this, guy, being happy comes inside. That starts internally. It literally does. You have the choice. Hi, Myrna. I lost my dad because of cigarettes. I'm sorry, Huda. I really am. There's, of all the things that we can prevent, cigarette smoking, the 45 million Americans who still smoke cigarettes, that's one of the easiest ways to start getting your health in control. The 216 million Americans, 2/3 who are overweight or obese, coronary arterial disease, CAD, is still the leading cause of death in America and still the most preventable. Okay, diabetes. 30 million of us, including me, are type 2. We know 324 million Americans, 30 million are already diagnosed. But, and this is the scary number, 84 million Americans right now are pre-diabetic. 84 million. That's more than 1 out of 4. If there's 20 people on here, that means that there's 5 of you that are possibly pre-diabetic. That means you're right on the line. Bad news, good news situation. Bad news is you don't do anything, you become full-blown diabetic, like me. Take medication the rest of your life. Good news is make some changes, little changes. I say even 10%. Take 10% off of your body weight. That may pull you off that pre-diabetes list permanently and forever. And once you stick that 10%, hey, why not take off the rest? If this guy can take off 110 pounds and quit a 31-year cigarette habit on the first try, July 15, 2005 was my last cigarette. Right? It'll be 13 years this July. But if I can do that, the original couch potato, the original guy who's seen every sitcom of the 60s and 70s, probably twice, right? The original couch potato, the original computer IT training guy, right? Mr. Fat and Happy. If I can do it, I'm convinced anybody can, at any age. The human body is malleable. It's like clay. You have the choice. You can make it better. And it doesn't have to be fast. Again, ignore these stupid commercials. Lose weight fast. Sign up for this program. Buy our meal replacements. You don't need that. You just need slow, steady, long-term lifestyle changes. Long-term changes that are going to last. A logical plan. Portion sizes is what it comes down to initially. And that's what I'll talk about next time I'm on is portion sizes and putting together the proper program to understand how to lose weight. And I'll talk about that tomorrow when I'm on. I'll talk about losing weight and specifically how to lose weight. I'll talk about goal setting and setting smart goals. And we'll talk about the diabetes epidemic as well as the opioid epidemic again. Neither of them are going away anytime soon. And if we don't address them and do something about them, they're only going to get worse. So the more we talk about this stuff and the more that I can share what I've learned, the better it's going to be for all of us, all the way around. Like I said, I expect every millennial out there to live to 100 plus without drooling on yourselves, without wearing diapers, right? Happy, healthy, get up and go type. And it can be done. So every one of you, I expect to be there. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a great Super Bowl day. I appreciate you taking the time to join me. Um, if I can be a health evangelist for any of your organizations, I do public speaking all over Southern California. You want to fly me anywhere in this world, I'll come talk to your organization. I don't care if it's a government entity, corporate entity. I have talked to groups as large as 2,000 people. I have absolutely no problem coming and talking to you. So you want somebody to come and talk to your organization about being more healthy? That's who I am. That's what they pay me for. Public speaking is one of the things I love to do the most. If I had the ability, I'd take every one of you guys and put you in chairs right here in front of me so I could look at you right in the eye. For me, that's my favorite. That is the best. When I can have an interactive live audience right here in front of me that I can look at, I can get that eye contact going with, that's the best. This is second best because at least you're live. You can hit me with questions. I can talk to you live. I can answer your questions live. And it's nice because I don't have to travel anywhere. You don't have to travel anywhere. I talk to people here on YouNow from all over the planet. England, Australia, South Africa. I've got my cousin in South America who joins in once in a while. So for me, this is just an amazing platform that gives us the opportunity to share, what we do. Physical education, that's probably what I do the most as a personal trainer, is the physical side of things. But as a health coach, fortunately, a health coach, which is like a personal trainer times 10, I get to cover the entire person. So for me, I want you happy. I want you healthy. I want you living longer. I want you waking up every day with a positive attitude. And that's what I'm going to leave you with right now. Remember, and every single night, 90,000 people will go to sleep and not wake up tomorrow morning. Every single night. What does that mean to you? Well, that simply means that if your eyes open up in the morning, guess what? You're already on the positive side. You're already ahead of 90,000 people. The minute your eyes open up in the morning, that should immediately put you in a positive mood. Hey, I woke up. 90,000 people just like me did not. So the moment you wake up in the morning, appreciate the fact that you woke up, first and foremost. Okay. Then at that point, you have the choice. Is it going to be a good day? Is it going to be a bad day? Is my glass going to be half full? Is my glass going to be half empty? Right? Am I going to get up and do something positive for myself or my friends or my family or my community? Am I going to get up and do something that's going to make me happy with who I see in the mirror every morning? Or am I going to be grumpy and not do anything and sit around and be sedentary and just feed my face and put on more pounds? And you do have that choice. I mean, don't forget, we all wake up with issues. Right? Every one of us wakes up with issues. I wake up with back pain every single day. I wake up with diabetes every single day. We all wake up with issues, challenges, personal relationship problems, business problems, bad bosses. We all have issues to deal with. But at the same time, we're the ones that get to make the choice. We're the ones that have the conscious brain, the bicameral brain, the one that has the corpus callosum down the middle that gives us the ability to reason and think and choose. And when you have the choice every morning when you wake up, just remember 90,000 people didn't. You did. Hey, that puts you on the plus side right off the bat. Everything after that should be gravy. Think about it. You woke up. You woke up. You're up. You're awake. Your heart is still beating. That gives you the opportunity to get up and make it awesome or make it anything you want. Every single day you've got that choice. Every single day you can make it whatever you please. Just the fact that you woke up to begin with should be your positive step going, well, if I woke up today, then let's go ahead and continue making it a positive day and make it even better. So that's my personal opinion on it anyway. What is it? Hey, YouNow persons. And again, if a certain individual that I know is watching, when you're ready to get back on the wagon, talk to me. I'm here. Seriously. And if any of you out there have a friend who has fallen off the wagon, make sure that they know that you're there for them too if they need you. You cannot abandon your friends, the people that you love, no matter how they might have hurt you, especially when they're hurting themselves. You need to be there for them. So anyhow, I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. If you haven't fanned me, please go ahead and do so. Like I said, I'll be back on here tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about specific ways that we lose weight. We're going to talk about numbers. We're going to talk about goal setting and setting smart goals. And we're going to discuss the diabetes and opioid epidemics that are happening in this country right now. So you guys go have a great Super Bowl day. Please do not drink and drive. Do not overeat. Enjoy your Super Bowl food, but try not to eat more than you really need to. I'll be back on here to lecture at you more about health and being healthy tomorrow. In the meantime, everybody have an awesome day. And take good care of your animals, please. Thanks, you guys.